All right, welcome to the Mental Gymnastics podcast.
I thought it was Gymnasium.
Or Mental Gymnasium, rather. Yeah, welcome to the Mental Gymnasium podcast. We'll edit that out. It's fine. I'm the host, Jalen, and these are my guests, or I guess standard.
We're friends.
Yeah, we're all friends here.
Friend is a bit much.
Yeah, friend is a bit much. But today, the people that will be here, and I guess we'll have a later arriving guest. Or James. Yeah, no, not his last name.
Gotta edit that out.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have James here coming in later, but for today it's me, it's Aubrey.
Hi.
Mace.
Hey.
And Dorian.
What's up?
There we go. So those are our guests for now. So let's just get right into it, I guess. All right. So how you guys been? How's your guys' week?
Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Finals.
Yeah.
Most of the families. How did you guys do? I did well.
Horrendous.
I did terrible. My first one, I got like a 58 out of 100, but still managed to pass. The second one, I got a 90, so that's good.
That's
For the last one, I got like a 25 out of 50. So
God.
Thankfully, that last one was
You
extra
said out of
credit.
50, so 25 out of 50 is a 50.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's still...
I mean, it's bad.
It could
It's
be
definitely
worse.
bad.
It could be
But he
worse.
also said it was extra credit.
Yeah, it was extra credit. So
it
that's
doesn't even
not
matter.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, that's cool. Anything else going on besides like the VGAs? And...
I fucking shit the bed on my grades this last week.
Okay.
Pretty badly. I'm pretty sure I passed everything.
Well, then,
So that's good. But
yeah.
I think had I studied, I think
I
I
would've
would have done a lot better, actually. I fucked up. But
I think I
whatever.
might end the semester with a 4.0.
Well, there
Hopefully.
you fucking go. There you go. It's easy.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
epic. Is
That's
what
great.
that is. Cool. All right. So now that we're all here and we've talked about finals, and that's pretty much, I guess, all that's been going on. Really, it's a big thing was finals for every.
For the last week.
yeah, the last
Yeah,
week
the
for
last
sure. Yeah.
week. And then we just had the VGAs.
Well, they're coming up.
I had
Yeah, they are coming up.
had a scene for my final in acting 2 with Josh.
Oh.
Thought that went pretty well. Everyone had to critique. Everyone had to critique us, and honestly, the main critique was, Aubrey, you need to project. Which, go figure. The blocking was so off. Because what we didn't calculate for was on the stage during our performance, the curtains were going to be a bit further inward. And so there's a part where my character starts having a panic attack, and Josh is supposed to sit me down and like try and calm me down. And he sits me down, and I'm practically blocked by the curtains.
So basically, you're just out of frame.
Essentially,
In a way.
I wasn't completely blocked. Like they could still see me, but it was a little rough. But other than that, I mean, I thought I did good. I just project a little more.
But how did Josh do?
Josh keeps saying that he didn't do good, but I honestly think that was his best performance of that scene. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just standing there like out of frame. They take a picture, you just see like half of his side, or you just see like a shoulder.
Anything can, you can improve on anything, but the more you improve, eventually it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
But it could have definitely improved. I think most of our scenes could improve with a bit more of a naturalistic feel to the blocking we do. But
How much time did you have to
A
do
week.
all of it?
a week. We had
Well, yeah,
1 week.
That's not much time.
That's not
Yeah,
much
like,
time. That's not. But you got to keep in mind that a week in if we had like an actual director, a week should have been more than enough just for that scene, because it's only like 5 minutes. It's not very long, but there's more. There's a lot to it. Well, when you do a scene, obviously, I think the biggest part you got to do is character work, and I thought my character work was actually pretty good. Just because I didn't read this fucking play. Josh did. And if I'm working with Josh will normally pick something from a play he's probably read all the way through and be like, "Oh, I think this is great." And I do. I think the scene he picked was honestly perfect. It was from a play called I'm forgetting the name of it now. It's
Nice, you had to perform this.
I did have to perform it. It was 3 Days Rain. I don't know who it was done by, but I played a character named Ned, and he's like a really soft spoken kind of guy. And if you're into theater, I'm sure you know how this play is performed. But the first act takes place in the past. No, I'm sorry, in the future. I'm sorry. The first, or really present day, and then the second act takes place 30 years before the first act. And it kind of solves the mystery of what happens in the first act. But the character of Ned is supposed to be playing his son in the first act. His name is Walter. Josh played Walter when they put it on, and
Cut it up.
oh, it's whatever.
They know where we live now.
No, they don't. There's so many.
That is 100%.
Josh kept beating himself up over the damn thing, and he shouldn't have. I thought he did great too. But other than that, the rest of my finals went to shit. My English final was actually free. It was a free 100, so I'll consider that a win. But government, I forgot to study for, and
Biology?
I bombed it hard. Calling that studying is not right. That's disingenuous. I didn't really study for biology.
I mean, yes, I was like...
Well, I tried.
We were jumping all over that review.
But, I don't know. No, I probably got a 50 or something like that. I'm so bad at science. But other than that, no. At least I was able to do something this week that didn't make me feel like a complete retard. So, whatever.
As for the rest of us, I think nothing else happened. I mean, like, my birthday happened, but I didn't really do anything on my birthday.
No, that's not important.
We just
don't
hung
care
out.
about
Who cares about my birthday?
Not me.
I mean, I will say, though, I thought it was pretty funny because if anyone got you for Secret... Like, whoever got you for Secret Santa could easily have used your birthday as an excuse to, like, find a better gift to get you something.
Oh,
The point is,
Cyber
I will
Monday's
be
based.
unsurprised on the day that we do the gift exchange whenever I find out Mace is my Secret Santa.
Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, I'd be unsurprised.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
really scared about my Secret Santa because, again, everything was, like, fucking pricey as hell.
Okay,
like-
but, like, that's Matthew.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You know, the secret come out.
Come on, it was too obvious. You made it way too
I
obvious.
didn't know this.
You made it obvious earlier. Like,
I mean, I just okay. The key things I said here was that everything was pricey. I didn't say what it was. I didn't say it was just a bunch of anime bullshit or like Chinese instruments.
and you didn't even have to say,
Okay, so Matthew can't hear this.
No,
Yeah.
Matthew can't hear this.
Matthew
Is basically
can't hear
what we're
this.
saying.
Matthew can't hear this until we do it. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, something tells me he won't hear it ever. So
That's all right, because it'll
I
probably
don't
take whoever does this.
Matthew's
a lot.
kind of a dick.
I don't.
Matthew doesn't support his fellow kings at a
No,
play.
he really doesn't. Dude. Okay, he had so much time to go
Look,
and prepare.
I
to watch the
wasn't.
play
I
with
wasn't
us.
even offended about that. I was just
I wasn't.
offended. I was offended at how like determined he was to
To
not
go.
see it.
Yeah.
Like it was like, hey, dude, we're gonna go see it, and he's like, oh no, like you could have said no, that's gay. Whatever, who gives a shit? But he was like, no, why the fuck would I waste my money on that? Every time it's been shitty and stupid, and I was like, damn, dude, like I'm right here.
No.
I was like, I'm right here,
Just
bro.
a simple no will support
Yeah.
It was
it.
actually Kino, though.
It was. No, it was really good.
I
You guys, you and Josh both did a really good job.
Wait, can I say Kino?
I mean, it's just a German word for theater.
I know, I'm not saying that it's like a slur. I'm saying like...
Oh, because
Oh,
of
no,
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 breaks.
wait.
Like who
Yeah.
would know what it means?
Who gives a shit?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
care.
like,
Look,
just
I'm
for
gonna-
us, Kino translates the best. I
But
guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I enjoyed doing the play. It was probably some of the most fun I've had this semester. That shit was
It was
fun.
fun to watch.
I met a lot of nice people too. Theater kids are normally
Theater kids?
an
The-
interesting
the-
bunch. Just that term alone is kind of an insult. Kind of
Interesting.
an insult.
Huh? Interesting.
They,
That's one way to.
well, they were very nice people. They weren't typical run of the mill. I'm special.
I'm loud and obnoxious.
I'm loud, obnoxious. I think I'm better than you, even though I can barely hold my own fucking lines properly.
Mhm.
Like, go fuck yourself. I hate theater kids, dude. But like, I can't really qualify a lot of the people there as like your typical theater kid because some of them are actually talented. Imagine
So,
that.
so they're the like.
Yeah.
And some of them are actually people.
Yeah,
crazy.
it's fucking
It's
insane.
insane.
Yeah.
What can be bred from humans.
Yeah.
Instead, we get theater kids, or we'll get human beings. That's nuts.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wanna-
fucking-
Yeah, it's not male or female. It's just
It's just
Person or theater
Yeah, you're human or theater.
Well, okay. You're missing one.
Oh,
theater band kit.
Oh my
band
god,
kit
you're
is
right.
also
We're
one
leaving
up
the most
there.
crucial variable. in
Okay, I
this
wanted to
equation.
just ignore that.
I mean, everyone does. They're literally like
They don't come from humans.
they are not humans.
But the thing is, hasn't everyone been like a band kid at least?
Okay, like
I was a
sixth
band.
grade.
Yeah, like
Sixth grade, I played the clarinet.
Yeah, sixth grade I played trumpet.
I played clarinet as well.
I wanted
guy.
to be Squidward.
I was literally Squidward. I don't think you understand how bad I played the clarinet. I actually played it horribly.
I thought you were going to say that you played it good because I was like,
No,
I was first.
I played it terribly. Like, you gotta understand that the only word I can actually think of of is dexterity. I cannot hold shit for the life of me.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, which was funny because when y'all were done watching the play and y'all were like, when you picked up that tray at the beginning, oh no,
We were all clenching.
I never dropped it, not once. Not once.
We were
never.
still
Not in
terrified.
rehearsal. Not in performance. Never
I
did.
believe you. We were just terrified.
I don't think you understand how terrified. I know my abilities. I know my abilities. I was terrified too. But on top of not having good dexterity and being a horrific asthmatic, that my asthma is you don't make for a good wind instrument player.
woodwind is probably not your strength.
Not even close. I unironically sounded like Squidward Tentacles. It was actually fucking
you had, like, the
hilarious.
squeak.
They hated me. The band directors hated me. They were like, dude, how can you not? How are you this bad? And I
Band
was like,
directors hate him.
I mean, I never told them oh, I'm
Just one
asthmatic.
easy trick.
I'm just bad. My instrument would always fuck up. I didn't know how to fucking fix it. And
Mine
on top of just
constantly
not
needed
being
to
good.
be there was always a screw that would come loose every day, and the band teacher always had a tiny little screwdriver to fix it. But it was so annoying because she had to take a whole 2 minutes out of the class to do that.
No. Yeah. You know what's the grossest thing ever in the band room, and everyone gathers around. They take all their
Spit valves.
the spit valve is
God.
disgusting. And I remember doing it
gross.
once, and it was just a flood, a waterfall comes out. I'm like,
no.
and that's in there. I
Yeah.
look down, I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. And I just look over to my right, the
You're talking
trombone
about
player's
the brass instruments.
Yes,
though,
the
right?
brass
I was
Yeah,
ones.
those brass instruments are
Should have picked up
With
saxophone.
the woodwinds, it was just
saxophone's sexy, dude.
I should have picked
with
up
the,
sax.
with the woodwinds,
So I
it
could
was
be
basically
the
just a
shitty
pipe
saxophone
cleaner.
player. Sound like a fucking hunchback of Notre Dame just wailing. You set on fire, dude. That's what my clarinet playing sounded like.
Dude, my trombone.
Sounded like
They got me
somebody
an honors
squealing
band,
for
but
time.
also the people there were terrible.
I mean,
And I was
How
like,
many years of band did you take?
one.
I took two.
Oh my god.
I only had to do one, and for sixth grade, you only need one fine art credit, so I did it for the
Well,
whole year, so 2 semesters.
I don't even remember why I took two. In fact, I remember probably immediately thinking, "Oh my god, why did I do this again?"
I wish I did sax.
But I remember initially taking band because I think my mother wanted me to do it because I was my brother was in band. He was also a clarinet player, and he was bad at it, but he didn't have the what I would call handicaps, I guess.
Well, actually.
He wasn't very good, but he did it. And he met Brandon through band, and they've been best friends since. He met some people there, interesting people. I'll say maybe not good, but interesting people through band.
Still friends with him? How many
Today.
years has it been since middle school for him?
Well, probably 10-ish. 10-ish. So
Now that's gold.
the bad thing when I was in band was I couldn't choose whether or not I wanted to do band or not because the private school I went to for my middle school, you were forced into either choir or into band. So I was like, I don't want to sing. I fucking hate that shit.
I should have joined choir. I was in choir.
You would have been equally as bad, I'll be honest.
I think I can sing a little bit better than I could play an
Well,
instrument.
probably.
I was like, I
But
think
it's
he
just
can he can handle low notes. He can't
Yeah.
handle.
I can handle low
Asthma-
notes. I
asthma
don't think I
just
can
kinda
handle high
sucks.
notes.
What is that? A soprano? You'd be a soprano or?
Fucking
I was like, I can also handle low notes better than I can handle high. I'm also terrible at
I
singing.
was like, as far as I'm concerned, asthma's like pretty bad for singing.
I know I can't sing, but like
I had mild asthma in like elementary.
fucking like.
It's like I don't think any
I
of
have
us can really
pulmonary
sing.
fibrosis,
No.
homie. I'm fucked.
Ooh, weird flex.
That is a weird flex. That's like, I was actually looking this up the other night. It's like a life expectancy of like 5 years.
Oh my god!
But that's like traditional pulmonary. Like this isn't traditional.
Okay, I was like,
pulmonary
bro.
fibrosis
Wow.
is where like the it's scarring of the lung tissue, and what that does is it kind of implies that like it's progressing, right?
But it's not for you.
No, it's not progressing because
Okay.
it was one isolated incident when I was born. So,
And here you are, 20.
Wow. Who'd have thought?
Still alive.
Still kicking.
We're sitting here on a podcast with a ghost. Who knew?
I should have died.
It's Casper. Oh shit.
Well, Casper's friendly.
Oh, you're right. You're right. This
I'm
one's just, like,
friendlier than the
cynical.
rest of you.
Okay,
I know
that's-
that
that's-
for a
that's-
fact.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
I know
That's not
that
even
for
true,
a
though.
fact.
That's not even true.
I wouldn't
Not to
say
you
so.
guys. No.
Oh.
To strangers. I think
Yeah,
I'm friendly.
No, I'm
I
saying,
see.
like, you don't know how I am around strangers.
To strangers,
Cringe.
you're friendly.
Yeah,
To
you're
your-
probably.
This guy can't agree.
Is this fucking dude?
No, I take it back. I think you're fine around like strangers.
I'm like, usually whenever it comes to like, oh, we need to ask someone about something, you guys get me to do it because I actually can talk to people.
I can talk to people.
I can
Why don't
talk
you
to
do
people. I
it?
just don't want to.
Okay, no, not you.
I do
Yeah.
it sometimes. What the fuck are
Yeah, he
you on?
does it. It's just-
Yo, BS.
There's just like, dude.
I'm on fire.
I just like that, like, it's basically like, oh, I'm nice to strangers, but when I'm with my friends, when I'm with you guys, I like that's the implication. Is that
I'm not even in general. Even with them, I know I talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to talk to people, I'll talk to people. Otherwise,
What the fuck are we even talking about?
Well, no one wants forced engagements, you know.
Well, when you're in the outside, the real world,
Yes, the real
you'll
world.
have to fucking deal with it. Someone might be like,
I
"Oh,
mean-
hey, I like your fucking shoes," and I'll be like, "Ah, thanks." Or,
piss off.
well, no,
Okay, no.
no.
That's not a
Okay,
real
that's
world
not what you
engagement.
said.
No, I'm
To
kidding.
be fair, I will give him credit. He handles people who are like cringe coming up to him way better than I ever could.
Mm.
I think I handle that better than anybody I know.
Yeah, again, no,
Anybody
I
else.
would give you that. I can't. Like, I'd come off as like such an asshole.
Matthew is the worst person I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, don't touch me.
Oh no, not even that.
No,
like
I mean-
he'll straight up
like-
just like blurt out like obscenities at them and like be like, "Fuck off, dude! I don't want you here." It's like, dude,
Oh,
it's
it's-
like chill. Like they're a human being. Chill. It's cool.
So it's
No,
like
it'll be over in a
Well,
minute.
the thing here is that Matthew's not a human being, though.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, is
All
this
right.
this first episode just shit talking Matthew?
It kind of-
Fuck
I mean,
you, Matthew.
If Matthew was here, it would have been probably with just him being here.
Yeah, no, we'd be like, shut up,
But,
Matthew. You
yeah.
don't get to talk.
He's the Meg
Oh
of
no,
our group.
he'd try like defending himself. I would absolutely tell him this to his face.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this
He'd
is
be like, well, I don't want you to be like, I don't want fucking Spurs
special
right
guest
next to me.
for our
you know?
second
This is not
episode.
exclusively
We'll
behind
have
his
Matthew
back.
on, so then he could like give us all of his hot takes because that's what he does. And like, oh my god, you don't understand? That's one of my big pet peeves is when he fucking just like will say something, and then he'll go in his low voice and go like, "Oh, I hate that," or "That's gay."
Dude, he
Oh,
is the
shit.
contrarian
And,
king.
yeah,
You know, speaking of hot takes, the Game Awards is coming up soon.
Oh,
here.
God.
So I kind of want to talk about that.
Soon as in an hour.
See,
Yeah, like,
at the time of this recording,
like
it's
maybe
about
an
to start.
hour
Like,
or so.
They
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on at,
It's
what is that,
it's
like,
literally
7?
an hour. It's 7:30.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
7:30 our time. Yeah.
the,
For hot takes, I think saying Resident Evil 2 deserves it more than anything on that list. Is kind of,
I
but
think
that's a-
Smash.
I don't
no,
think
no,
it's-
sorry. Saying Smash deserves it more than anything on the Game of the Year.
Absolutely.
That is a hot
The only thing
That is a hot
I
take.
think the only argument you can give against that game is the fact that there's not exact like there's two main arguments I can do. One, it wasn't actually released this year.
mhm.
It missed the deadline last year. And two is the fact that there's no real, how would I put it, impact that it could have on the industry. It's the same, it uses the same formula. It does a lot of things new in the fact that it is the biggest crossover for video probably ever. I don't know. Endgame is a meme. Anyway,
Yeah, I was
the,
just referencing that shitty meme.
I know. But those two reasons, I can see why you could say it doesn't deserve it. But that my opinion is I think it should win.
I mean, okay.
Out of what there is, I think it should.
It is a good party game. Like, it is a fun party game that anyone can play. It is a party game. Okay,
It's a party game.
No,
I
it's
was
a
like,
party
don't
game.
even say that is controversial. It is a party game.
Not even the
Why
people,
would you say something so
Not even the people in the FGC take it.
Okay, the people
Okay,
in
no,
the
not-
FGC
okay,
aren't even
not
people.
even the people in the Smash community. Okay, wait.
Well,
I take that back.
hang on. They consider that a fun. I do think that they consider. Okay, how would I put this? It's like it created its own like subgenre of a platform fighter.
I can agree with that, but it is still a party game.
Yeah.
It's subgenre platform fight a party game like it. Yeah,
I'm not
you
saying
take away the items, that's what it becomes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that party games
But-
are bad though.
No, it's not.
I'm
It's
just
not.
saying it doesn't
I
give
agree
me-
with the label. I'm not gonna argue about that. I think that's a correct term because I'm pretty sure the creators fucking use that term too. It's a fucking party game.
Yeah, no, soccer guy.
Yeah,
rather.
Soccer guy.
Soccer
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
No, I think he does call it a party game. Wasn't he?
Yeah,
one
he
of the
really
people,
wants it to be a party game.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
one of the
except
people
for
that was
adding a fighting character into the game.
into a party game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Terry's fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
you
yeah,
also
he's-
try out Terry.
It's
It's
Terry's fun.
crazy how these fighting
Not
game
even close.
characters are like, good in this fighting game.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
fucking
Air quotes
good.
No, like
needed.
fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, Ken and Ryu, they're like broken, busted. Like the
Can't be
in
trusted.
this.
Their neutral's bad, but they
Oh.
fuck you.
I don't
up once
remember
they win.
which update it was, but like
This is zero
Was
to
it
death.
Buster
combo.
Bolt?
yeah, 0 to death.
No, he's
combo,
talking about
I don't
Ken.
know.
He's talking about Ken.
Oh,
Ken can like
okay.
Ken can
Ken
like
can fuck you up.
falling nair to like detail, jab to crescent kick into like that like what I just described to you is like 70%. Like
Yeah,
it's-
no,
and then he
it's-
can just like run up and short you.
It is
and, like,
bad.
That is a 0 to death rate. It's hard to pull off. Don't get me wrong, but like he can do it.
But back to the games that do deserve Game of the Year.
So back to Resident
Um,
Evil.
Resident Evil 2.
Death Stranding.
No.
Listen.
Get out of here.
Okay, no, Resident Evil 2, I think it came out this year and it was
I forgot it came out this year.
Yeah.
I'm really honest.
It came out like
This
January,
year is
right?
February.
it
Yeah,
came out like
it
the
was February?
beginning of the
I
year.
thought it was January.
It was
like
still early.
I think it was
Early.
January 20th.
But it was
But-
like out of the two games, it would be between Smash Ultimate or Resident Evil. in my opinion.
Resident this Resident Evil 2 has brought so much, like, in comparison to what the original was. They've completely they used the Resident Evil 7 engine, making it look beautiful. They've completely restructured like the entire level, the entire I guess the police station.
Map layout.
The first one, they
Yeah.
had the map layout of just how everything transitioned into each other. The story is somewhat similar, but like just in key points, like how Claire and Leon meet each other. But other than that, like everything else is it's great, and they've added a lot of shit. They added new variations of tofu.
Yeah, it has a lot of
Okay.
replay value. It has a
It
ton of
does, and
It's
it's
like
like
the fucking tofu survivors, like the biggest.
yeah, that's the big thing because that was such a like weird gimmick that everyone loved from the first one, or I guess when it originally came out. Because tofu was just like you run with a knife and you go through hunks area. You just go from the end of the game to the beginning, and that's it. But with tofu, it's like you have a version where it's regular tofu, or you have the fucking grenade launcher or machine gun, whatever. They added so much to this new version or this remake that like it warrants. I think it totally warrants a Game of the Year.
especially out of the games that have been released this year.
Yeah.
Okay, out of the nominees for Game
Yeah,
of the Year,
out of the
nominees.
nominees.
out of all of the games in total, I
No.
don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
Out of the nominees, yes. I can't really say because a lot of the games that I'm thinking came out this year didn't come out this year. They came out like last year, which is really fucking weird how
Yeah.
short. This year's been really short. It feels like, and it just feels like not a lot of games have been coming out.
Three Houses got snubbed big time.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I can't disagree with you.
You
on
didn't
that one.
finish the
I
game.
didn't
You don't
finish
Yeah, I
get.
still need a
He
play.
hasn't
You don't
even
get the
started
opinion.
it.
I got
But here's
Not
some,
even
Okay, wait.
here's some good takes for you. All right, how about you shut up? The
okay.
Chris Hackney deserves a nomination, if not the win for best performance in a video game.
Score is also something.
Best
that wins.
score for sure. At least it deserves a nomination. Best narrative as well. I won't get into it, but it definitely deserves those nominations. At least those three.
All of them.
And the
have to
fact
be.
that it didn't even get it got best strategy game, which like cool, great, whatever. But what the fuck? What the fuck?
It got the best of its genre. and that was it.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll win because it just won the fucking
Imagine
popular
if it
vote
doesn't
for
even
Game of
win
the Year.
that. Imagine the outrage.
It just got the popular vote for Game of the Year.
It has to get strategy, yeah. I don't even
I
know.
don't know. I just think that I do honestly believe those are snubs. Chris Hackney did such an amazing performance with Dimitri. No, it's fucked up. That's fucking wrong. That is fucking wrong. But you're gonna give us, actual like Hollywood actors like Mads Mikkelsen and Norman Reedus,
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah,
Conan
Conan O'Brien has Conan O'Brien
Otter
has
Man.
And I bet you one of those two will win. Someone from Death Stranding will probably win.
they
Mads
should
or Norman will probably win.
Something tells me Norman.
More
Norman?
or less Norman Reedus because
I bet Mads
everyone
will win.
fucking loves Norman Reedus. I
I
love Mads. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think it's based off performance. I think it's like almost based off of how well people know.
I'll be completely
Yeah,
honest
the star
with you.
power.
I don't think Norman Reedus is that good of an actor.
I'm not debating that.
No, it's
No,
not whether he's
100%.
good or not. It's the fact that people are like, oh, the
Oh, he's so
Walking Dead
hot.
guy.
I love
He's
him.
cool.
If Daryl dies, we riot.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you? Okay. Speaking of AMC, there's a fucking show on there with
No.
Norman Reedus.
Haven't seen it. Are you talking
Yeah,
about
The
Walking Dead?
Yeah.
No, not Walking Dead. It's basically something like that, where Norman Reedus gets on a motorcycle and he will just travel like across. It could be wherever he travels from, like Route 66, anywhere in the United States, and he'll have
Sons
like
of
a guest.
Anarchy.
Yeah, it's basically like that, but like take out the Sons of Anarchy part.
Just
And you
make it Norman Reedus only.
It's Norman Reedus riding around. He's doing like a documentary style thing where he's just going around like, this is the historical landmark of, I don't fucking remember what
The big
it
old
sounds like.
rubber band ball.
This is the Alamo. This is the fucking
Okay, so
White
he's like
House.
Guy
I mean,
Fieri,
I'd
but
get him
with-
a beer. Like, he's cool.
It's like Guy
I
Fieri,
wouldn't-
but like with historical landmarks.
Yeah, and he has a big guest come on, and they'll just be like, "That's neat. Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
That's
yeah, remember the Alamo?
Can I talk
Yeah.
about how much
Landmarks,
west of
wonders.
Kojima is?
Oh,
That's
this is super
holy
Westabu.
Super Westabu. Oh my.
He made a
Fuck,
game
yes.
about American politics, or I guess more international.
I mean, pretty much.
He made a
So, like,
series about
Yes,
American
he made
politics.
an entire
Yeah, he did.
series.
Oh yeah, but that was
Holy
good.
fuck. I mean, yes, they were good.
Does he know
Yeah.
English? By the way?
Yeah,
I would assume so.
It's just like I've never seen him like speak English.
He can. It's not very good as you
Yeah.
would imagine.
Like if he's
Did you write
watching,
he can speak English.
I think like the best examples are like the Mega 64 videos he's been in because like he speaks English and does, but it's not very good.
I mean, like at least he's trying.
Yeah, he's trying.
No, but like, I'm still mad about it. Metal Gear Solid 5.
I don't understand his like interest though.
That's such a good game.
I mean, he apparently
Metal Gear Solid 5 is one of the best third-person shooters I've ever
all right.
played.
Can we just can we pour one out for like the lost game that would have?
That's Metal Gear Solid 5.
No, shut up. No,
I know.
not Metal Gear. It had Guillermo
Never
del Toro
not
working
bad.
on it. It had,
Silent Hills?
Yes,
Yeah.
Silent Hills.
I don't think okay.
Another Norman Reedus game.
I do not believe that was supposed to be a series because I'm pretty
No.
sure he knew beforehand that he was going to get fired from Konami.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's what that game was supposed to be.
It was just one that's I would probably either be a tribute or a send off to Silent Hill the
Yeah.
series, or maybe a soft reboot. Who knows? But the whole point was that was a fucking solid horror game.
Wait,
Yeah,
was
that's
that the one
excellent.
that had that demo on the PS4?
Yeah.
PT, yeah, PT.
The demo that was so popular that when it got taken off the store,
People sold their
people
PS4s.
sold it for thousands.
Thousands, dude.
For their, I still have mine. You know,
I never got to play it.
if you want
There's a port on
to
the
come
PC.
on, play now,
Port.
play PT.
Yeah, someone
Please.
ported it to the PC.
Oh yeah,
So,
there's
like, you can
been so many
play it.
different like fan recreations.
But there's one that's like it recreates it fucking perfectly, and it's in the Unreal Engine, and it looks
Oh, shit.
on
No.
fucking point.
I believe
So-
I
It
like-
looks about as good as the
I
original.
just
so.
think of how solid the game would have been on its own when it came out, if it actually
on.
came out before it was aborted.
Aborted like the fucking
Like the
fetus in
fucking
kid.
fetus in the sink.
Yeah.
You know, it's there's a fetus in the sink, by the way.
Whoa.
I know, crazy. It looks like Eraserhead.
When's Konami giving me Metal Gear Solid in the Fox?
I saw.
Okay,
Fucking
not that one.
Yeah, no, I was like, are you talking about like the My Hero Academia
No, the fucking
Eraserhead?
Cronenberg, the shitty little pink manifestation. There's a little baby that has like a big tube head, and it like
I don't like that.
That's
yeah,
why
you're
I
not
don't like
supposed to
it.
like it. It's gross. It's super gross. It's just, but that's what Silent Hill would have been. Who knows?
Yeah.
It sucks, man. It sucks. But
Konami could do the biggest turnaround, and they're not doing shit, and it makes me mad.
Pachinko.
They could do well, yes, but I wasn't gonna get. That's not really like what I'm about to talk about.
Oh,
but like they could seriously make like the biggest turnaround. Like
we're gonna
they
remake Metal Gear Solid 3.
Look, I don't want to go back in. Well, that's what I was gonna get to. But they put Snake and the Belmonts back into Smash Bros. Right? And that was something people really wanted. Yeah, cool, awesome. Why the fuck aren't they giving us the games that we fucking want?
The Pachinko mines.
Well, I know it's fucking Pachinko.
The Pachinko mines.
But do you realize the amount of money and the amount of like the word I'm looking for? The the favor of the public would be at least a little bit better if they started like they could like he was saying remake Metal Gear Solid 3 in the Fox engine. I'd buy that twice. I'd buy that shit twice.
I mean,
but no, they're not gonna do shit. They haven't done shit
because technically these remasters are already out.
Okay.
Yeah, on a Pachinko slot. Yeah.
So
gamble it away.
To talk about Pachinko and gambling, the main reason for Konami doing this is because like the person who is the head of Konami right now, I want to say like CEO or something like that. He got his position because he basically made a mobile game at the exact time that like Game of War or whatever was getting really popular, and because of this, like he made fucking bank on that. I think like $1 billion at the end of the year because people
made bank and then they fired Kojima.
Yeah, and they fired Kojima.
Well, they had every right to fire Kojima.
He was taking a lot of their money for like famous people.
Metal Gear Solid 5 can be so fucking good.
Metal Gear Solid Survive.
This is just going to be a Metal Gear Solid podcast now.
I was like, I haven't played any Metal Gear Solid at all.
Play Metal Gear Solid 3. You'll probably hate it until you get to the end.
If you want a good stealth experience, a tactical espionage experience.
Dude, I played the Metal Gear freaking escape room. Okay, I don't need to play the actual.
Dude, the escape room was sick though.
The escape room was actually badass.
Yeah, that was cool.
My legs hurt for like 3 days.
We went out of the lockers. I was like, I know, with like the Japanese people in like the fucking room too. I was like, I know, I don't think I'm cut out to be Solid Snake.
Wow, you just like get to the end, it's just like
dude, and then like they had like boxes to hide in, but like it doesn't fit.
We kept fucking up. We had to spend so much fucking money.
Oh my god!
It does not actually so fun. It was so fun. Yeah. But like they had
to pretend to not see you.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite part was like how well they acted like they were like the NPC guards from MGS.
What were they saying? Like dumb it down.
Unironically.
Yeah. Wow.
They
really?
were going, like it was so good. Like wow. It was some good shit. Like they dressed like them too.
Set path to walk.
Yeah. That's like a set path.
Amazing.
Like it was so cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
If you're ever in Japan, go to the Metal Gear Solid escape room. That's
it's
just
in
fun.
what's it called?
I don't actually remember where
it was.
Is.
Something Mystery Circus. Is that what it was called?
Maybe. I really don't remember.
Something in Tokyo.
Obviously, it was in Tokyo.
Okay, is that so obvious then?
Where were we? Metal Gear.
I guess just like Metal Gear, and then we get to the escape.
Because of technical difficulties, we'll talk. Okay. So I think 2020. There's a new remake coming out for Final Fantasy. They're gonna do it episodically, which.
No, you're talking about 7?
7, yes. Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
They're doing a remake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do want to. Yeah,
yes,
that's been known for a while.
And there was controversy at first. People were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And read the next Telltale.
Well, isn't that game like I've never played it,
long as
but
hell.
it's fucking massive.
It took 3 discs originally for the first game.
Isn't it like an 80-hour game?
It's funny too.
It's around like I want to say less, like maybe 20 hours less.
I was like, okay, I could have sworn it was like shorter than Persona game.
Like
I mean.
It depends. It's still lengthy because if you do all the solo content, like the main quest line, it's I think like 50 hours. If you want to do all the side quests, that adds like 10 more hours. Like it's
not that
long.
bad.
It's not.
I mean,
too
for
bad.
for its time, that
for
is
the PS1. That's fucking long.
Yeah,
I don't think it's good enough.
And like, man, Final Fantasy VII was like, at the time, it was like the hallmark. That was the big game that everyone wanted to get on the PS1 when it came out like 1999, I think. Somewhere around there, because you had like the.
That was earlier than that.
Was it earlier?
Am I as old as the PS4?
I don't.
Oh, you know,
I
PS1?
don't
No,
know.
PS1.
No, you're definitely not because Metal Gear Solid came out in 1998.
Okay, so then my numbers are off, but I think Final Fantasy VII came out for that at 1999.
It was either the PS1 or PS2.
I've played
sure?
zero Final
I
Fantasy.
might have been the
games.
PS. Yeah.
I have 15. I got it for like $5.
I got
like-
15 on like a really like big deal. I was like, I'll play this, and then I never played it.
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
I'm not
15 is like very.
I hear from like Final Fantasy fans, it's not very good.
It's.
Michael liked it.
Ooh,
Michael liked it.
Michael likes a lot of things.
I know. I'm
The
not,
thing-
saying, I'm not saying that it's a good take. I'm just saying
the thing
some-
about
I like it. I thought it was
the
pretty
thing
good.
about Final Fantasy 15 is like it has an okay story. You know, it's you got your typical like Final Fantasy moments where you're like, oh, you're going on a big quest and there's like a twist and a turn somewhere. Someone's not who they say they are, something like that. And oh, we got to fight a god now. That's usually how they end.
Typical JRPG.
Yes,
Yeah,
essentially.
it's
I mean,
JRPG. Yeah.
I mean that's how Final Fantasies are. They're like they
Speaking
did that.
of JRPGs, I want to play Dragon Quest 11.
Oh,
I've been meaning to get
Yeah.
it, but I don't have the money right now.
It's like I could.
Well, I mean, I do. I have it.
Well, actually.
I have it. I just don't want to spend it right now.
Yeah.
But
Holidays and whatnot.
no, because
Some shit I got
because
for.
Final Fantasy VII is being remade, I thought we would talk about something that's kind of, linked to that in a way when it came out. This was around 2003, somewhere around there.
Was it
Well,
I am
the
Sephiroth.
It might have been earlier, but I
I want
know
to say it was a little earlier.
it was a little earlier, but it still went into like 2003.
It's like
somewhere
if you're
around
gonna
there.
explain.
It went well into
Wait.
like 2006. I think.
Yeah.
Because there's more to it than just like
It's
Yeah.
so like okay, when Final Fantasy VII came out, there was I guess it's not really like this was talked about around that time where it's like there's a thing called Otherkin where
Stuff.
so
Well,
okay,
that's
that it has to
So
do
So
with
there's a
No, I
place
mean,
called
like-
Tumblr.
like
And,
I'm sure
something
that
like
this has relevance, but I'm just saying, oh my god, the concept.
So
of it.
Otherkin,
Oh, this is
Otherkin is
bad.
essentially it's kind of like reincarnation, but like specifically for video game characters.
I wouldn't really describe it as that.
No,
Well, that's kind of what they believe.
yeah,
But the Otherkin wasn't really like that.
Okay.
It's more like
Yeah.
it's just more like saying I'm a fucking lion trapped in a boy's body. That's
God.
generally like
okay,
it's
yeah,
some
yeah.
stupid shit like that.
In all-
Well, I mean, even then, that's no.
In all-
It's
in all
kinda-
aspects,
You're not
but-
sounding very inclusive right now.
I know. Yeah.
in all
Imagine
aspects,
that.
but physical. I am a wolf.
Yes,
yeah,
like
okay,
that, like
okay,
that.
okay, okay. But like with these guys, so what? This started like around the early 2000s, probably from 99 to whenever.
I don't know.
This guy had made a forum essentially.
I don't
of-
think it was a guy.
No, this guy,
Oh, yeah.
like the guy, this we'll start from here.
Okay.
This guy had made a forum about two characters from Final Fantasy VII, which
Was it like
were,
Hojo.net?
I think it was on there. I don't remember.
I think that's the site. I
Okay.
think that's what was made.
Okay,
But I could be wrong. I did research this for this, but it was actually a lot harder to find some stuff than I thought it would be.
because a lot of it got just like blasted because of the
Yeah,
participants.
it got fucking nuked.
So
Like
around this time, this guy's making a vlog or not a vlog, a blog about these two characters. This other person, her name was like Jen, I think.
yes,
But she wanted to be referred as Genova, which was another character from Final Fantasy.
Oh.
In fact, it's like this big ancient alien that had like multiple voices in her head type thing going on.
Christ.
Okay, the character or this
the
girl?
character,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
the girl's
I mean,
kind of
okay,
similar.
The girl, okay.
And that's why she.
And so
Well,
she's
she was-
trying to like entice, like she's talking to this guy, and she's like, you seem a lot like Zack, which is like a friend of the main character of Final Fantasy. She talks about how they're very similar, and like she starts spouting this stuff of like essentially like propaganda for Otherkin to like get him to believe in it. But he's playing along. He's going, sure, whatever, all right.
It's not like that. No,
Yeah.
I recall them basically buying into the bullshit.
Oh,
Like, because this was on a forum. They were like, "Yeah, you remind me of Zach," and blah blah blah. I can't give you too many specifics. I wasn't fucking there, but they.
I don't think I'd want to be.
I don't.
Yeah, sounds like a
But
fun time.
eventually, this dude
It gets funner.
it gets to he ends up practically like going and like living with them. I don't remember how it leads to that.
Well, no, originally he would like they told him to come visit them, so he would get these $350 ticket like bus tickets to come visit them because he lived in like Brooklyn and they lived like I don't know Jersey or something like that. But he would go visit them like 2 times a month, something like that. He would be spending a lot of money essentially to visit these guys. And after a while, they were just like, "Hey, why don't you?" Okay, well, I mean, I don't know, but this woman Jen and her wife Hojo, as she was referred to, Hojo, which was a mad scientist in Final Fantasy. To give you, this is kind of giving you like a general idea of who these people are already. Where you have a mad scientist and you have like a crazed like
God, essentially.
God, yeah,
deity
basically,
or whatever.
You have this crazed scientist and this. I can't say that. That's actually.
I already said it.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I mean, we can cut it out.
Yeah, we'll cut that bit out. But
No,
yeah,
don't cut it out.
anyways, but yeah, so he goes and visits these people, and they say to him, "Hey, why don't you come live with us over the summer?" And he agrees to it. He goes, "Sure, fine, whatever." He moves out of his mom's basement, which is actually where he was living.
Big mistake.
This later will become a big mistake. He'll come to realize that it's very bad. So he goes and he moves, and everything seems fine, like at the very beginning. And then Genova and Hojo have these quirks. They're very quirky people. Where one of the Genova would like basically monitor when this guy would just like use the computer every time, always. You should always just wait.
Well,
watch.
you need to give a little bit more context
Like-
as to why, because Jen was pretty much just using this person as like a personal piggy bank.
Yes, essentially.
And that would like this. I don't remember if they ever gave like a real name, but Zach, I guess, would essentially like he would question some things, and a lot of the time Jen would like flip the fuck out and be like, "Oh, well, if you don't do this, I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna kill myself."
Yeah,
blah 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 blah, and he would just bend over backwards because he's spineless or some shit. I don't know. And in the original like writing or like the research of this, he says that he genuinely believed it like a lot that it would happen, and so on top of that, a lot of like the things she was buying were just useless. And she was like, "This is like an amazing like quest item. This was like
quest.
shit like that. Yeah." And he bought it. It's like, yeah, I'm Zach. I'm helping this woman out.
I'm helping her on her quest.
Yeah, it's like, dude, really?
No, like
come on, fuck on.
They would do mock battles to where Jen and Hojo would both like basically wave their hands in the air and like do random shit like that. We're like, "Woo!" And it would be like they're casting spells. They're doing whatever.
Magic missile.
Yeah, essentially.
Magic missile.
And Zach would kind of just be like, "This is kind of weird, but all right." So he'd wave his stick around, and then like really, he just because he was skeptical of this whole thing, but he was still like doing what they wanted, and that's the worst part. He was just enabling them as much as possible. He's paying the rent for them. They weren't paying any of the rent.
Was it Zach that got beat?
No, it wasn't. It was someone else.
Someone else.
Yeah,
okay.
they beat someone.
Someone gets beat.
Yeah, someone
ends up getting beat because they kept like I don't remember the context, but Jen and I believe it was Hojo started beating on someone.
Yeah, they tied a guy up to a chair and they not something like that.
I don't think it was like that. I think it was a girl. They started beating
unless it was the like other member that left early is Eris.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was that woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
they like beat her down because I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah.
There was another woman. She eventually left. Her name was Eris. She was like she was trying to be friends with Zach while she was there. And
is she also crazy?
She believed this. If that gives you
so
a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but she left, and Zach at this point is just like they're basically brainwashing him into just doing whatever. So at the time, he was sending her like mean emails because that was the big form of like communication. So he would email her, and she came to pick up her stuff one day when she was like moving out, and he just completely ignored her. But during Zach's time there, he realized like there's some like this is bad. He started to realize like this is some awful shit going on. They wouldn't bathe. Those two would not bathe at all. They just like sprayed perfume on
Do
themselves.
video game characters bathe?
No, you never
Exactly.
see them bathe. You never see them, use the bathroom.
This isn't Nintendogs, right?
No. Like,
Wait a minute.
But yeah, no, like Jen would just like spray perfume on herself. She'd give herself like a few spritz, and that was it. She had this like weird silk dress, and she never washed it. She never took it off. She never washed it. So you could smell it. You could smell it from like the opposite side of the room.
Imagine their hair. Oh my god.
The guy said it smelled like rotten flesh when he lived there. Like it smelled awful. And there was another guy, Sid, who apparently was like a dickhead. He was like a super dickhead, but
Sounds like a Sid.
he seemed like the only like to this guy. He seemed like the only somewhat sane person who would come visit the house. But he also stated it was also kind of like a brainwashing technique that they used, where they would have him come in, and when he was there, this guy hated being anywhere around Sid. But when Sid was gone, he was like, I need that guy in my life again. He has to come back. And like, yeah, it all got really bad. And I think he eventually like somehow like moved out. But
okay, I did research on this yesterday, so I do remember why. It's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing. Yeah,
the shoes.
Yeah, they had some sort of argument about a shoe. And,
what the fuck?
Yeah, and he was just like, you know what? I'm fucking done. I'm done. And he walked out.
Yeah.
With nothing. And he just I think it was just like the clothes on his back and one shoe, and that was it. And
someone
he was
stole
homeless.
his other shoe.
Yeah, he was homeless for like a couple days until I think it was Sid that found him and was like, "I'll just drive you home. I'll drive you to your parents' house."
And then
they drove him home.
Yeah.
But the funny part is that's only that's like part 1 of 3.
Yeah.
Like there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't just end up.
There's a cult. There's a cult.
Yeah, it's practically a cult. So
God. I thought, oh yeah. He just ended up at this house and like
now he gets sinister.
Cringe ass house.
He gets fucking sinister.
So a little later, I want to say this was 2004. I could be wrong. There was a forum post about. I believe the forum was called Roommate Nightmares or something like that. It's probably gone now.
Yeah.
This was. I wouldn't say early internet, obviously, but before even YouTube, obviously.
Okay, so prior to 2005.
Early for us.
Yeah.
Well, then that's early internet, okay?
And the this forum post, I forget the names, but this guy starts describing about how he was part of like I forget what it was. There's a term for it, but basically there's like this like really nice house, and the person that lived at the house just wanted company, and so
it was a big house.
It was a huge house, and he didn't want to sell it, so he just made it to where like, hey, you can live here for $500 a month, right? Pretty good rent for a house like that.
For like a
and
fucking
he just wanted company like that. That's it. And the story is told through a guy named, at least he calls himself Pete. And Pete talks about how the only catch from this was that he was very selective on roommates. You had to have like a really good background check, and you basically had to put your money where your mouth was and show that you needed to have a stable income. You needed to have a job, obviously a job, a stable income, and not be a piece of shit, essentially. And so he starts talking about how there's a woman that comes in,
and she's like an other kid herself, or no, she doesn't say that outright yet.
They called it soul bonders.
Yeah,
that's what they
changed the name of it.
They called it soul bonders. And
this isn't like she's not soul bound to a Final Fantasy.
It's not soul.
It's still a JRPG character.
What was the RPG? It was a hard name. It was like Suikoden.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
I
think it was
Suikoden. Was it? She was like, I forgot what fucking character she was. I don't know the characters for it.
And Sarah. I think she said her name was Sarah, or they called her Sarah on the post.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm pretty sure that's what they called her. And so think of essentially just the same shit happening, but different names. And, like, so they lied about how, like, she's like, yeah, I'm from California. I have, like, this, I forget.
She was working a programming job, but then she got laid off.
That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
But it was pretty obvious, like, by the time,
because people were trying to, like, help her out to get, to bounce back, and she's like, I'm good. I'll look for another job eventually. And so people were kind of very confused about that. Like, okay, fine, whatever. This person's fine. Okay, cool. So then, she would act very weird, like, right off the bat, essentially, where she was just like, she kind of had the tendencies that these, Jen and Hojo had, where, like, they wouldn't bathe, for instance, things like that. They're covering themselves in perfume.
I think people later connected that they were one of the people from the Final Fantasy house.
Absolutely.
But I don't remember which. It wasn't Jen and it wasn't Hojo, but it was someone else. It might have been Aerith.
It was. I do remember it being Aerith.
Was it Aerith?
Yeah.
Well, I honestly don't remember.
Because basically what happened was Aerith had left the Final Fantasy house, like, outright. She was done.
And then she just started her own
thing. And
she
made soul bonding a thing. And she made a cult for it, essentially, where she had all these, like at least, like, 15 people believed in this enough to where they actually came to the house.
Right, yeah.
They came to the house, and they started performing a ritual, essentially, to, like, soul bond people.
And these are, like, normal people that, like, live in the house. Like, as far as I understood, it was normal people that live in the house.
She got another person to come over the house.
Yeah, and there was, like, she acted as, like, a bodyguard for her when they started, like, basically being like, you need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because she wasn't paying.
They tried, like, kicking her out, and she just wouldn't do it.
They went to the landlord or something like that, and, like, hey, can we kick this?
They, like, went to the authorities.
But they're like, you don't have the proper you don't have the proper paperwork for this, so we can't.
You don't have. He didn't have the proper paperwork to, like, be a tenant or whatever. And because of that, he needed the correct paperwork in order to kick her ass out. And
so they gave her a month to just, do her thing. So during that month, she was here. She had brought her, like, 15 other people that she indoctrinated into her soul bonding cult.
Keep in mind that Pete, the person that originally wrote this, started bringing in other people to start writing. Like, the other people from the house to start writing stories. And a lot of people at the time started thinking, like, oh, this person, like, from the house. I forget. I definitely don't remember the other two names. But these other two people from the house write a lot like Pete does. And they started going like, oh, well, this is some fake ass shit. And it actually boils over in the in that thread where they like, the moderators had to, like, soft lock it for a little bit, and they were basically like, does it really fucking matter if it's real or not at this point? Like, this is just entertaining shit to read.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but what was interesting in how it's why I think it's real is he might have, exaggerated some points.
Possibly.
You don't have a good story, a lot of the time if you tell everything the exact way it happened, because it's just going to get boring, and it's not going to feel like you were really there unless you start exaggerating some points. But why I think it's real is just because of the fact that the shit started getting nuked. There was a lot of arguments and a lot of people that were saying, like, yeah, I keep getting, like, threatened to, like, get sent to court over these posts and shit like that. And, like, it just kept happening and happening. And it's kind of why I would consider it real. Like, yeah, you can pretend that you're, Sarah or Jen, but it's like, why go that far to, like, essentially, like, fucking harass them? So, I don't know. But I feel like there was one more, like, big part to it. I'm kind of forgetting it. Was there not?
It was just, like, those.
There's two.
From what I remember, those are the two big ones.
Those were the two big incidences.
The house itself, the fabled Final Fantasy house, and then this Aerith chick moving to this, like, random mansion.
I want to say there was one more part to it.
I think the third part was just, like, everyone finding out who it was, and them.
Like, a lot of people were like, in that same the roommate horror story thread or whatever. They kept talking about how who Sarah might have actually been from the Final Fantasy house, because people, and I believe they were starting to like link it to that other story, and personally, I don't think I can do this subject justice.
No,
I don't think I can do this subject very much justice. There's the YouTube video down the rabbit hole is by Frederick Knudsen. If you're interested in the subject, go look that up instead. Well, don't say not instead, but
it's a great video.
It is so in depth, and he does the research so much better, because a lot of it is gone. I kept trying to look into it, and all I could find were like not even archive posts, but
you can't, like
wikis. Yeah, well, maybe you can. I'm sure you could probably find it on the Wayback Machine. There's no way that shit wasn't saved. That shit's a gold mine.
Yeah,
but like a lot of it, like just like Google searching normally, you're not gonna find much. You're gonna find like wikis talking like about it, probably even in less detail than we just were. But Frederick Knudsen down the rabbit hole is probably your best bet if you want super in depth on that subject, because it is he does a really fucking good job on that.
He's got those in depth investigations.
Well, that is the point of his channel, correct?
Yes,
Like,
down
the
rabbit hole.
I actually was listening because I rewatched his video, and I started like Googling like a lot of things about it the last 2 nights, and I honestly could not find much. I could.
It's probably gone. And
sure, the Wayback Machine, you can probably find it through there, but other than that, you cannot find the like original posts. I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of the forums that were this stuff was being posted on are even still around. I'm sure they're gone,
probably, and
but a lot of people use that as I don't want to quote Frederick, but I think he does say it's a cautionary tale.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
there's a huge moral to that, which is like fucking.
So you're saying that this is a proposition for us to recreate it?
Well, we could.
No,
like Final Fantasy.
Persona House.
No.
I'm a catchy kid.
Well, no, let's not.
Okay.
No.
Can I be Yosuke?
Well, no. Please don't.
No,
Stop. Let's not.
Yeah, Matthew's Yosuke.
Matthew's Mishima Kid.
Who can I soul bunt? Funky Student.
That's not even.
Yeah. Everyone can get behind Funky Student.
But this
Step up, senpai.
this really did bring like the beginning, or at least like the beginning marks of Otherkin. Honestly, why you would ever fool yourself into thinking such a thing is honestly out of my realm of comprehension.
I guess it's just like a form of fantasy. It's a form of escapism.
It's the Final Fantasy.
Okay, I could talk.
Well, let's hang on. I want to ask you a question about this. Do you think Jen is just like out of her fucking marbles, or do you think a lot of what she did was on purpose? I honestly think it's a mix of both. I think she knows. Like, I think deep down she knows it's full of shit, but I can fool like a bunch of sympathetic morons into thinking, I'm gonna fucking, put a fucking knife to my wrist.
If it was all a big like scam to get like free rent.
One thing I did find that was not in that video. She ends up she leaves, right? Her and Hojo like drop off the face of the earth for like a while. And I believe fast forward to I wanna say 2011, but I could be wrong. The she pops up in the Hannibal fandom, which by the way, fandoms are disgusting, and no matter what you are, if you're in a fandom, you consider yourself part of a fandom, you're disgusting.
That's what this is a cautionary tale of. It's a cautionary tale of getting too deep into a fandom, or just taking the fandom too far. That's what this is.
So from what I was reading, she pops up in the Hannibal fandom. I don't know how much you've read about this, but I did a little bit. Everyone immediately like kind of realized like, oh, you're that girl, you're that thing, right? But wait a second, no, the exact opposite happened. They were like, yo, this could be good.
Yo, this guy's bitch.
It gets to the point where the fucking producers of the show know about this.
Oh my!
And they started like No, it's so interesting. The I forget what his name was, but like she kind of like tried to like push it off, like she worked with them, right? And like you can get in trouble for that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
They didn't do a goddamn
They
thing.
let it happen.
They let it happen. They let it happen because I assume that what they were thinking was like any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
But I think it might have worked, honestly. But I from that, like, I don't know where that person is now. Not that I would really care to. It's not like their entire life is documented like a certain
Thank God.
Chris Chan.
Thank God.
But
That's all I can say of it is thank God.
They were
Chris Chan's epic.
No, Chris Chan is not.
Female Chris Chan.
they never
Never.
like gave.
Oh wait. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Christina.
And the
We peaked.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
it's just
Man, the Hannibal.
don't let that shit consume you, man.
I heard the Hannibal show was good, you know.
I
It
heard
was.
it.
That was
It was
where
good.
Mads got
yeah,
his
it was
start.
good, but like
Well, I
that's the
say
thing.
that's where he got his start. I don't know.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, Mads
I
Mikkelsen.
just
He was
remember
He
him
was
in like
Hannibal.
James Bond movies, honestly.
Yeah, he
But-
was in like
Yeah.
cock and ball torture. James
Was
Bond.
that
I think that's which one he was
Casino Royale?
in. Yeah. He's just
Movie was fucking
he's
good.
the one with the big ball of rope and he slams it under.
That was Mads? I don't remember that being
I
Mads.
think that was Mads.
I'm about to win fucking best performance.
Well, yeah, because he did CDT
About-
on
about
Sam.
20 minutes.
This.
On Sam and Death Rising, Dead Strand.
Dead Strand, right?
Nice.
Yeah, no, we are at an hour and like 7 minutes.
like-
Well, I guess
we
it's
an hour
time
and
to.
3 minutes.
You could try and wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess that's really all the time we have
Some
for today.
closing
We've-
words about the Final Fantasy house.
All I can really say is, the final. I guess, like I said before, the Final Fantasy House is a cautionary tale on delving too deep into your fandom and believing kind of, what random people on the internet say.
Ground yourself in reality, please,
Yeah.
for the love of God.
I
And
am
go
saying-
rush down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
please. They do it so much better.
Keep your 1 foot in reality, maybe 2 feet, foot and a half.
Just,
I mean,
just,
like,
just
preferably-
stay grounded, stay
However
grounded in
many you
reality.
have,
Just-
Yeah.
honestly.
You know.
if as long as you're a bipedal creature, keep both pedals on the metal.
Well, what about people who aren't? Anyways,
Anyways, this outro is going a little too long, so I guess that's it. We're gonna wrap it up, and I hope this was a good first episode.
I will never watch this shit.
You-
What-
well, I mean, you're on it, so
I
why
don't
would
want to
you?
watch it. Yeah, I don't. I hate myself.
Don't we all? But yeah, I guess that's it.